Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to mattsteinway.com. Today I'm with Simon Pilcher. Hey mate.
Hi mate, good to see you.
Say hello to him too for a minute.
Hi everyone, welcome.
Simon's been good enough to give us a few minutes of his time, literally 15 minutes, because someone else has got this room, haven't they?
Correct.
Okay, mate, you're always in the top 10 for McGrath. Why is that? Like, what makes you a top 10 performer? What do you do differently?
I mean, I think like one of the main things is I'm highly competitive and I want to be in the top 10.
Yeah.
So that's
a goal of yours?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, my goal is to finish in the top 5 for this financial year. So there's a bit of ground to make up on, but I think it's likely we'll do that.
Excellent.
But you know, I guess that's a byproduct of having sort of fairly clearly defined financial and business goals. So
Yeah.
I don't aim really to be in the top 10, but it's just nice to know that I'm beating 90% of the company.
I like that. So do you work to a business plan? I might get you to spin around a little bit more so they can see your face a little bit.
Yes, I do. Each year I work with hand in hand with Terry, my wife.
Yeah.
Each year we do a business plan. Come December, so we come back in January knowing exactly what our objectives are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an annual thing for us. We don't monitor it too closely because we make a commitment at the beginning of the year that this is what we want to achieve, and then we do everything we can to achieve it.
Okay, and is that just like a spreadsheet, or is it just bullet points of what you want? Or is it like a full structure of prospecting plan and all that sort of stuff?
No, it's really. It starts with a figure, with a financial goal. It's easy for us to break that down into. So really, it's from us. It's the financial goal, the number.
Yeah.
And then we track our stats reasonably well in the back end with the spreadsheet that Terry's got set up. You know, our list to sell ratio, number of market appraisals to get to those listings.
Yes.
So basically for me it's knowing how many market appraisals to do each week of someone that is going to sell their home.
Right.
So I measure market appraisals out of curiosity, but the real core measure for me is how many people do I set in front of each week that are going to sell their home.
Okay. And do you prospect?
Yes, well I take two. I mean, we do prospecting for us is both a sort of a hard activity and soft activity.
Mm-hmm.
The hard activity is the follow-up calls from open houses, and me staying in touch with my pipeline.
Right.
I'm good at staying in touch verbally with my pipeline, just keeping in touch with them by calling them.
Yeah. So would you say database nurturing is a huge part of your business?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of that, like you say, ringing, keeping them up to date, or letters as well, or do you?
We do letters. We don't do letters to. We don't really spam our marketplace.
Yeah.
We do a lot of. We do a newsletter. You know, a really nice corporate newsletter that McGrath have. A lot of I have an assistant Hugh who's he's I guess a prospector for want of a better term for his role.
Yeah.
So he's always on the phone inviting the local area to our new listings, letting them know about properties that have just sold. Mm-hmm. So there's constant communication between Team Pilcher and our local marketplace.
Right, okay. So you got someone doing a lot of your legwork, just general legwork, that's you?
Yeah.
Okay. So how does your team run? You've got you, Terry and Hugh?
So Terry's our managing director, so she runs the business and implements change, and sort of keeps me reined in from trying to implement too much change and too much of a hurry. We have Veronica, her role is our team concierge.
Yep.
So what that means to our vendors is that as soon as the property is listed, Veronica takes over between that point and the time of settlement, anything that the vendor needs that's not directly sales related.
Right.
So that could mean helping them get set up on property alerts to find another house. It could mean, some cases, it's an entire makeover of a home. We're doing one now at the moment that's taken nearly a month to get finished. So she's managed that whole process. We probably won't take on such a heavy one again. We will stick to lighter makeovers, landscaping, painting, maybe some new bench tops, that sort of thing.
Yep.
If they need repairs, electrician, plumber, she'll look after all of that, put them in touch with our solicitors, our stylists, so she'll coordinate that whole thing.
Right.
And when we're sort of managing 10 to 15 listings at a time, that's almost a full-time job in itself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So is your main role being out, listing property, doing market opinions? Do you work with buyers?
I work with buyers as well. So once someone in the team's identified that there is an interested party for a property, that they become my relationship from there.
Okay, you managed to negotiate a sale.
Yeah. We also have another Terry in my team.
Oh, do you? So how many in your team?
5.
5.
Although she's about to have a baby, so Caldy is her replacement. So Caldy's job is vendor marketing and managing our personal marketing, so the newsletters, any ads that might go out, getting banners done for sponsorships for schools, we might have that sort of thing.
Right. I didn't know you had 5. Big team. What advice would you have around aggressive competition? So let's say, because there's other agencies that open in areas, I mean, we have it in our area, everyone does, and you know, they're making real moves towards aggressive market takeover, aren't they, or giving it the best. I think the real estate bar's sort of gone here for a lot of agencies. You know, McGrath was always up here, now they're there, and now I'm sure John will go a little bit further again. So what's your advice around that?
We had that exact situation. You know, one of the top, I think he was the top railway agent in New South Wales, Rob Clark, opened up a Bell office just down the road from my house and in my core area, and they're doing extremely well. He's a very good operator, very nice guy. But we had such a strong position in our marketplace that we thought, well, do what you like, we're still going to be the dominant agent. So Rob came in very aggressively on marketing, subsidising marketing, fees. And I thought, well, you can't do that for very long, so I'll just let you do that for a while. After about 6 beautiful listings that I lost to him, I decided something had to change. And you know, Terry and I made a decision. Our mentality was, we're getting into the trenches now to fight.
Right.
So it went from we're okay to now this is a battle, and we intend to win it.
Excellent. And how's it going?
We're winning it.
You're winning it.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. And they're tending to get increasing, I won't say dominance, but strength in areas outside our core zone of Annandale.
Right.
But we're still sort of holding the lead, you know, very strongly, particularly in the top end, which is where we want to be in that suburb.
So is a core area, I might get you to turn around a little bit because they can't see your face much. Is your core area a key to your success?
Yes, it is, absolutely.
Is that like a big anchor for your...
We moved, I mean, we live in the area, our kids have been at kindy in the area. We're not going to move out of the area. We bought investment property in the area.
Right.
We shop in the area. I get my hair cut by the barber in the area, whether I like it or not. So yeah, that has been one of the keys to our success. I mean, it comes at a little bit of a personal cost because you can't go up the shops without someone asking you a real estate question. And, you know, it can be a very lengthy trip to the shops to get milk and bread.
I'm with you there, mate. Yeah.
But, you know, people see you as part of the community and committed to the community, and I think that can carry a fair bit of weight.
I agree.
I mean, someone asked me, not just the other day, you know, like, what is it, you know, how do you define your core area? There's a fellow Mark McLeod, you know.
Great white guy.
Yeah, he had a beautiful description of what constitutes a core area. And Mark said, if you don't know what your core area is, I'm going to tell you. He said your core area is somewhere that if someone else puts up a signboard in that suburb, you get really pissed off. He said, if you want to know what your core area is, that's what it is.
I like that.
So that definition stayed with me.
How long have you been working in your core area for?
8 years now.
Okay, so you would have some pretty serious recognition in your area.
Yeah, definitely.
You've got a very high auction clearance rate. Why is that? What do you do differently, or do you just micromanage the whole process?
I mean, the key to it, in a good market, you don't really need, you know, in a hot market, all you need to do is really be listing properties, I think, and marketing them well. In a tougher market, you know, such as we're in at the moment, I think the key to it is not being afraid to have tough conversations very early in the piece with your vendors. And those tough conversations start at the time of listing. And don't take on anything that, you know, isn't a very highly motivated vendor and they're not accepting of the current market realities price-wise. Now, even under those circumstances, of course, things can change. In a cooling market, what you price the property at, or based on the last couple of months' sales, might be irrelevant, and you may have to sit down with the vendors, you know, week 1, week 2, and just say to them, all that research that we looked at when we listed the property is now irrelevant. Here's what's happening today. I have a listing appointment in half an hour.
Yeah.
The property that was probably could have achieved 8 to 850 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
My conversation with the owner now is I think it's probably going to peak at about 770, 780.
It's real though, isn't it?
She's already said to me she wouldn't sell at that level.
Yeah.
And so if she does decide she wants to list the property, I know she's genuinely going to sell.
Yes.
My guess is she's going to walk out of here and may go and list with someone else that'll tell her what she wants to hear.
Can you pick it up next time around?
And I get
When it's a bit of that happen, yeah.
Or they'll spend 3 months making her feel very unhappy.
Yeah.
And I'm not interested in that sort of business.
Definitely. 2 quick questions because you've got to wrap this room up, don't you? What's your point of difference in a listing presentation? Have you got?
Almost brutal honesty.
Yeah.
And I have, I'm an open book. People can ask me anything they like about my business or my life and I'll tell them.
Yeah.
And people find that sometimes alarmingly refreshing in the beginning. I'm not I don't go like a game show host and try and impress them with, whiz bang energy.
Yeah.
I'm a fairly calm person.
Very. You haven't changed in 10 years since I've known you.
And this is what I'm like when they're on the market. And I think, people, generally need someone who can be calm throughout the process.
Yeah.
They're going to go through highs and lows themselves, and the market can go through highs and lows. I think what they need is someone that's not going to be, swayed by those things.
Definitely.
They can just be a rock throughout the process for them.
So people would feel very confident with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've got an intimate market knowledge, and that's fairly clear when I'm talking to people.
Last question. What would you do differently in your career if you had to do it all over again? Or get started again somewhere? What would you do differently, if anything?
This time I've had 2 real estate careers.
Mm-hmm.
So the first real estate career I was sort of a bit half-hearted about it, and I was having as much as a good time as I was in my life as I was doing business.
Yeah.
And my results reflected that. This time I decided it was going to be serious. Terry and I spent all of our money that we'd saved together in funding our marketing. So we actually were at a point where, Terry said if we don't by June 30, 2004, which would have been our first year, if we haven't made X, then we're out of here.
Wow.
I said, yeah, I agree, because we would have been broke and had to go back to do other things again. So, when people said, gee, you had an incredible first year, how did you do that? I said, I just gave myself no option. So I think if you're serious about this business, you give yourself no option. So that's what.
So you would have done, you would do that exact same thing
I did
again?
the same thing again. I wrote down a list of everything I could think of that could generate business for me. And that was probably 120 points. I did over 100 of those things. I think we know, you can talk to you can talk to me, you can talk to a lot of agents about how you get it right in generating business. I think if you do everything that everyone tells you, you'll have a phenomenal career. So it's a matter of choices as to how much you want to put into it and how committed you are.
That's awesome. Such good advice. For anyone watching this, I want to do what Simon does. He's one of the best in the country. Very easy to do, straightforward advice. Anyone can do it, you just got to be committed. So thanks, Simon.
Yeah, pleasure. Thanks.
Very, very good. All right, guys, any questions for Simon? I don't know, he's flat out. If he might answer them for you. Put them in the post underneath, see how he goes. And apart from that, I'm not going to shake your hand today because I've got a sniffle.
Yeah, stay away.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
And see you guys on the next video.